kick it off here. So before we begin, I wanted to just make sure that everybody understands that this session is designed to demonstrate how Adobe Experience Platform and its applications can bring personalization and activation to life at scale. Here we are just on our community is growing, and so what this session is all about is education, inspiration, and community learning. So all right, let's jump in to our first slide of the presentation. Hi everyone, and again, I'm thrilled to have you all here for our session on powering personalization and activating at scale. Join me today. We have two speakers, Roman and Ariel. Let me go ahead and first introduce myself. I'm Tanushri Jamala Madaka. I am the Principal Technical MarTech Product Leader at NFL. Along with me, we have Roman Ogarok, who is the CTO of Americas from the vertical team, and Ariel Sultan, who is actually joining us from the Adobe. She is the product manager, marketing manager at with AGO team. And just to get started, sticking to our theme, I just wanted to give a little bit of fun fact and also ask everybody who can chime in and put it in the chat over here. So there's a twist, and I wanted everybody to put your views here. So the question over here that I want to ask everyone is, if my data were a Netflix character, who would be your data be? Would it be a hero? Would it be a villain or a twist? So drop it in the chat over here. Again, question is, what Netflix character would your data be? Would it be a hero, villain, or a plot twist? So as we keep seeing everybody respond to that, let me go ahead and kickstart our session. Um, I'm also, I being part of the community, Adobe Experience Platform community, I am from the Bay Area, and we are kicking this first session off as the Bay Area and West Coast chapter. A fun fact about my city, San Jose: while it's known for the center of Silicon Valley, its late night food scenes, and actually what it gives, it as a personality. The most important thing, which I think is, after late nights, after the games are done with the 49ers or the Warriors, you will see a lot of food, hot joints out here in the Bay Area. So what I would like to know from everyone here, what's one fun fact about your city? Maybe you are dialing in now from New Jersey, New York, or from Chicago, or from Canada, or from Bay Area itself. So talk a little bit about what's the fun fact about your city that you can share, and something interesting that where you're joining from. So I'll give it a minute for everybody to just put your chat in on that.
And Tano, as everyone's doing this, I think maybe we'll quickly set up a bit of kind of framework for today's session, where I think will help us all to guide and navigate, where you will kind of help us to all understand how the NFL, and the team kind of engaged, I think, was the technology and the AP, how it was, stood up, and the connective tissue built between the league, right, and the clubs. And when my turn comes, I'll try my best to lay out the story about the implementation frameworks, a bit of the use cases, right, and kind of how we approached, right, the scalable activation like this, so the audience can maybe take some of those takeaways with them on both strategy, tech side, and capabilities. And Ariel will close us with the roadmap.
That's absolutely correct. Thanks, Roman, for filling in, actually. So let's go to the next slide. And this is what we are going to cover today is we are going to talk about evolution of personalization, how an organization basically shifts from a siloed to an orchestrated experience. We're going to talk about the integrated ecosystem that powers activation. And we'll have a preview of Adobe Journey Optimizer's roadmap by Ariel. And before that, as Roman mentioned about the implementation. And then finally, we will end with a short survey at the end. Our goal is to connect strategy, data, and activation in a meaningful way. So here's my question again, one more question to the audience here. Which topic are you more excited about to learn about today? Are you excited to learn about Adobe Experience Platform or AJO, Adobe Journey Optimizer, orchestration, or a topic like real time stadium activation? So we are going to cover most of it over here, but if we are not going to cover it in today's session, we will be having following sessions and we'll make sure to cover that in our upcoming series as well. So drop in your chat. It could be just a word. Is it AP, AJO, orchestration, real-time stadium activation? All right. So moving on to our next slide. Yep. Thanks, Roman. So when we talk about activating fans or customers, we are talking about delivering the right message at the right moment in the right channel. But historically, brands have dealt with siloed system, slow manual processes, fragmented digital plus experience, physical plus digital experiences, and limited insights. What AP and AJO allows us to move basically from a reactive communication to a real time, more predictive and orchestrated engagement. Again, what's the most frustrating, irrelevant message a brand has ever sent to you? You might have experienced as a practitioner, as a consumer, write a one word answer maybe in your chat. What is the most frustrating, irrelevant message a brand has sent to you? It could be a brand or it could be just a communication through a campaign that has come out to you. So you feel free to drop in that as well. Moving on to the next slide. This slide basically shows us a progression, how an organization matures over time. We moved from siloed to connected, bespoke to a scalable, and then moving on from a limited reporting to a strategic insights. Initially, we were fragmented, but utilizing the APHAO orchestration, we saw a harmonized experience. And finally, using the whole APHAO orchestration, the whole ecosystem, we went from a manual to an automated to a Gen AI powered ecosystem. The North Star is basically real time enterprise orchestration. Let's go to the next slide. Here is where we are talking about a smart stadium technology and real time insights. Now, this is where things get very exciting. Smart stadiums generate real time signals, parking, ticketing, POS, your crowd density, your IoTs, and live game moments. Those signals can instantly trigger personalized messaging on site experiences. This is where our physical behavior drives a digital activation. Moving to the next slide. The FAN 360 profile combines over here demographic, behavioral, and transactional, as well as stadium data stitching in real time. This is what the slides depicts about. This empowers teams, organizations, league teams to activate journeys with precision and relevance. It's not just insight, it's an actionable intelligence. Hence, orchestrating today isn't limited to a digital channel, right? It spans through stadiums, billboards, LED ribbons, applications, name it, in stadium screen, live content, POS triggers, as I mentioned earlier, membership attributes, and many more. So, connecting all of this as a storytelling phase, the fan experience feels intentional, holistic, and seamless. Let's move to the next slide. This slide basically is the unified stack of depicting how a unified data, identity, content, journeys, as well as decisioning and activation into one ecosystem. How we are eventually connecting all of the dots and stitching it into a one storyline. Governance, AI, and automation ensures that experiences stay consistent and scalable. This is what truly powers personalization and for the enterprise to scale. With that, I will actually now hand it over to Roman to talk about how this overall arching of the end-to-end, putting the stack together from the implementation partner's perspective. So, Roman, over to you.
Thank you, Tano. So I hope everyone can hear me okay. Let me know if not. So what we'll do next few minutes, right? We'll share how the vision that you're seeing on the screen has been actually brought to life and then activated. So Tano and team has asked our agency to help them to implement a lot of this vision, connect a lot of these technologies, deploy, configure, right? Go live, and actually help the entire NFL team to deliver those experiences to their fans, directly through the league or through clubs, teams, and their marketing tools to the fans, right? Deploy them end to end. So when we started kind of this journey, our initial vision was personalization at scale, right? And kind of that's the mantra we carried over from architecture perspective, from the way we're thinking about building the journeys or segments or activating the intelligence that the EP offers that helps us to be very nimble, but also very precise and relevant. So near real time or real time was also a goal for us, because as those experiences happening at the stadium and millions of people watching at home and other places, we wanted to make sure we are delivering on those experiences in the moments, right? And there's four buckets that kind of we carried over across the entire journey, and we still do. They are scalability. So whatever we built, we needed to make sure it was scalable, and then if needed to expand it further, there was no minimum or no rebuild. We call it accelerated. So there's a lot of time-bound activities we had. So we had to sometimes deliver or activate some of the experience in a very accelerated ways in a short amount of time and then build on it. Efficient, because there is number of resources we have, and we have to and technology kind of resources, not just human, that we have to account for. And flexible, because the league and the 32 clubs that were part of this program, they all have different stacks. So we have to be technology agnostic and flexible in the ways how we build. Right. So when we started thinking and approaching how do we deploy the AEP, which includes AGO, real-time CDP, CGA, to enterprise of 33, which is league and the clubs, we couldn't do it just all together at the same time, because there would be just too much to account for. We didn't want to do it one by one, because it would take too long, like it will take years versus months that we had. So we decided to meet in the middle, and we did it in waves. So we did the groupings of five that made it big enough that we can kind of go in chunks and complete all of the waves within number of months, but also nimble enough that we can do it with the right quality, with the right speed, but also take the lessons learned from this pod or wave deployments and carrying them over to the next one. So the first one took a bit longer. Obviously, there's some learnings and there's some speed to be gained for the next one. But third, fourth, and fifth, we went extremely fast and efficient, applying the learnings and pre-built kind of assets that we have. So if any of you are on a journey to deploy at scale, put some thinking on how you build your schemas, on how you build your assets, on how you build your data components, so you can copy and paste them or if not entirely to a good degree, every single time you deploy a new sandbox or a new environment. That really really helps and works. To be honest, with the AEP, works really really well. At the same time as we were building those, deploying in waves or pods, and you can see them at the top of the screen, right? Like we only showed three, but there was more. We also had to build the actual food that would power fuel that would power those pods with journeys, with integrations, with channels, and things like this. Because without those, they were effectively just shells for the marketing teams to use, right? And obviously they would love to come in and start activating the experiences. And for that, we needed to build those components, right? Including journeys, assets, triggers, audiences, all of that. So we also had to do that in parallel. And again, as we were deploying them and having our learnings, we were applying them, but it worked actually really, really well. The platform was ready enough for it. The channels were pretty easy and native to activate. We used a combination of AGO native and third-party vendors for the channels that were their CGA reports connected really nicely. So a lot of this came together in a way that was scalable, in a way that was flexible enough that we could accommodate on how do we activate those channels, and using sometimes AGO, sometimes different parties wanted to use AGO only for orchestration, but do a deployment from their own marketing automation platform. So that we were able to achieve as well. A lot of great flexibility on how things can be activated based on marketing, data, IT teams, requirements, and desires. And the simplicity ended up being a friend of ours. So the way we kind of uh, decided to repeat and scale the process was really the 6-step methodology. And if you look at it, it's probably not something that you didn't see before, right? We started with kind of understanding of the requirements, discovery, and designs of each of the clubs or the groups for deploying their own personal sandbox, right? Based on those requirements, we would put the planning and timelines together. So like 80% we would know exactly what it is, and 20, because it's repeatable, and 20% would be something specific to that club, either a channel or type of journey, or maybe a data lake they had, something that was custom to them. And then we would deploy what we called an accelerated package, which had the schemas, the journeys, the dashboards, things that would be required one way or another. And on top of it, we would build all the specific, we can call them customizations, right, to make it really bespoke or tailor made for that club. And we go from levels of UAT and QA. We really love the joint UAT together with those teams, because you can see how each one would test the same thing a little bit differently. And that was really interesting. Great partnership there. And then we go live and start tuning it up and turning the dials and figuring out what works better for one team, what works better for the other one, and kind of continue improving and adjusting as needed. And that goes to data flows, that goes to personalization, that goes to reports, the way we deploy journeys, many different things. If there is any questions on this, please put them in the chat. Tanu will read them towards the end of the session, and I'll quickly maybe call out a couple things that we believe was actually cool, and maybe you want to pay attention to them and see if that works out for you. So one, and again, being a technologist, a lot of us came from other Adobe technologies like Marketo or Campaign. So some of the capabilities that I'll call out simply didn't exist there. So it was interesting to deploy them. So one of them is the intelligence, predictive segmentation and audiences. So the idea is that you can define the audiences that you believe either would engage with your product or churn, right? And you can do it manually, or you can actually feed the engine the audiences that already did one thing or another, and an engine will analyze, right, like attributes of those audiences, and kind of works with you to validate and confirm them. But once you build those, Then the model runs for quite some time, like several days or weeks, and shows you what it thinks is going to happen. And then next week it actually shows you what actually happened, right, before you even deploy the model. So there's a lot of ways to calibrate and see how predictability works and if it's accurate. And once we saw the accuracy was in the high 90%, we actually did deploy the model, and it was really fun to watch how it was suggesting which groups of segments we should send a message before they are treated, so we kind of re-engage them before it's too far gone and they unsubscribe, and those that actually extremely engaged, and we should send them to the next step of the marketing funnel. Really cool thing. You guys may want to pay attention if you haven't tried. And another thing that I wanted to share with you is kind of some of the learnings maybe as an agency we also took from this, because AGO is fairly new product, and as a team of technologists who kind of keep repeating some of the things that we did, we decided to kind of build accelerator or library of accelerators that help to achieve some of what we already done over and over again, so others can take advantage. And some of these accelerators you can find on the application store, and you can download it. Some of them you can talk to us and we can help you to activate them, because some of them are more of the frameworks. So there's a bit of mix. And I just want to talk maybe about the three top that we decided might be interesting. So one is we call it engagement connector. So if you are looking to in your stack to connect AGO with your marketing automation platform for any of the reasons, like I mentioned, in our case, some of the parties wanted to do orchestration on AGO, but use marketing automation platforms to actually send the communication out. We have a connector that helps to build that connection, and you see a few logos on the screen, but it actually technology agnostic, so it can be tweaked and connected across different platforms who will do that. And it's omni-channel. The other one is the channel amplifier, the way we call it. So as you will be deploying or using AGO, you will realize you have options on how you connect omni-channel, right? Besides email, and then AGO has a lot of native capabilities, but also you can plug in, like for example, for SMS vendors like Cinch, Attentive, or others, again to do the orchestration with AGO, but do deployment through them. And sometimes you may have your reasons of certain capabilities, functionality, what have you. So there's we also build a accelerator that helps to deploy some of those vendors in accelerated model or way. So obviously a lot of them focused on the sports industry, but also agnostic, so we can add or remove additional type of vendors or foundations as we like, and that might save good amount of hours and time, right? And last one is time to mention, right, the activation of the experiences that are bridging digital and physical, right? So around the stadiums, around the experience of fans who are kind of entering into the stadium or watching the game at the stadium, and during different moments of the game, we could engage them, right, during the halftime, during the certain events when somebody scores or what have you. So there is a set of APIs, right, that exists and methodologies kind of to bring those experiences to life. So we also package them into the accelerator that can be used. Okay, and in terms of what's next, because this has been a great journey for us, the next is also, as Tanu mentioned, is goes from the fan experience for us is how do we engage fans, right, and reward them and engage them in a more meaningful way. So not just at the right time through the right channel at the moment, but also how do we make that engagement deeper. So there's a number of technologies, but one that kind of takes a bit of attention from us, at least these days, is something like like Lava AI and others, where there's technology who allows us to use AGO and Adobe AP or TCDP capabilities to really engage those fans and reward them on the spot. So, for example, during certain moments of the game or them arriving to the stadium, we can serve them in wallet, right? Coupons, discounts, certain types of rewards that they can exchange to the physical products, right? To get a Coke, get a snack, or from the stand, or a jersey or anything like that. Was the was a discount or some sort of benefit or incentive. And the practice shows, like when you engage fans in those moments during the game, there is a lot of cohesiveness happens, right? And they really understand how the company and how the game affects the entire experience, and from the marketing perspective allows you really to make a difference on how those channels work for you. So very, very exciting, and we're very proud to be part of such a journey, and have our contribution. um, all right, so this is it about the deployment. This is it about kind of how we approached it. Just maybe we'll spend 10 seconds talking about vertical as an agency. So if anyone here would love any assistance, any advice, kind of on how to do similar deployments, or any type of Adobe Experience Cloud work, we are available. We are here, and we are technology agnostic agency that has been a partner with Adobe for many decades. We've been part of the Adobe marketing team for I think 13 years or so, helping to deliver different type of experiences. But we're also one of the Adobe's biggest implementation partners across the entire stack. So we're happy and excited to be partner and good player in this ecosystem. And over the years will be the significant capacity of different type of expertise and technologies across the entire stack. So that obviously helps us to build some of these accelerators, as you saw today, consult and activate the experiences that are unique, that are specific, that are new, and fast looking. I guess, Ariel, should I pass it to you?
Yeah, I'll take control
Victoria?
of the screen. Thank you, Roman.
You're welcome. Let me see. How do I go off the full screen? And you can take over.
Let's see. Okay, perfect. I can.
And functionalities Adobe is looking to bring on the Adobe Journey Optimizer forefront. Roman, if we can have the final slide up for
Mhm.
our attendees here. So just on a wrap up, I wanted to first thank Roman and Ariel to come up and present for our first Bay Area West Coast user group chapter. Feel this is a survey. We would appreciate everybody to give your time and participate in this survey. It will also help us to understand what you're looking as your in the next series of sessions that we are bringing in. We are also looking at those who are in the West Coast and in the Bay Area. Specifically, we are looking to bring in person in the next couple of months a meetup group and education session. So look out for invite for that. But at the same time, if you are from Chicago or New Jersey or New York or even from Canada, there are other user groups. Definitely reach out to the user group leads. You should be having access to that. If you don't, feel free to drop an email. I'm going to drop my email over here. Feel free to drop my email, and I should be able to connect you to the right user group as well. And with that, we are actually just about on time. Any questions last minute, feel free to drop it in the chat over here. We shall be sharing the recording after the session. Feel free to review and share it with your peers as well. Any last minute, Roman, Ariel, you want to share something?
No, nothing special. Just want to say thank you to everyone who attended. I hope this was valuable and insightful. Good time spent. And yeah, looking forward to next session, next topic.
Yeah,
I have a question. Is it okay to ask
Yes,
now?
absolutely, Lakshmi. Go ahead.
Yeah, the question is for Roman. I know the fan experience. I'm off late. A lot of doing a lot of research on this to do the personalization for the fan experience. So I know, like with when the game is on, right? So you have a very limited amount of time, and then you have so much of data you need to aggregate at a short amount of time, and then personalized, right? So it could be an opportunity for merchandising. So how do you bring in all this data, right? Is the technology stack just the Adobe, or you have any other underlying stack? And then how quickly, you don't have much of time, uh, you know putting that through the AI and then getting the necessary personalization or recommendation. Is it Adobe the only stack, or any other stack you have used in the architecture?
I think there is always options, right? It was like with everything. So in particular cases that we have participated and played, we use the mixed stack. So there was Adobe plus plus. Like one of them was this, the Lava AI that the slide I showed, because those guys have, and they're not the only one, but they're good at what they do. So we have a partnership with them. They have really cool integrations with, like, point of sale systems and all of that, to your point, like recognizes really fast those data points, and then that data comes into the AGO, AGO journey and our TCDP, and the decisions made based on that. So for example, like we can see if, or with that type of technology, if it's a halftime or some sort of break, and we have, I don't know, too many uh, concessions still left. Like it's a half, or maybe it's the last quarter, and there's still 10,000 hot dogs left. So there's, option one, they all get into the trash. Option two, we can, kind of give it to people, right? So there will be an immediate, rapid campaign with some, discount codes, or buy one get one free or something like that. So we can kind of give people the joy, but also take care of the things so they don't go in the garbage. I hope that answers your question.
You're on
Yeah,
mute.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay.
So another follow-up question on that: do you guys use any other data lake, like the real-time data aggregation, like the fan experiences, uh,
Yeah, no, the RTCDP part is also part of the stack in this case. So the data gets sent again for specific use cases. We use streaming data to make decisions, to make personalizations based on the triggers.
Okay, so you use the data to real-time RAG using the AI models, right? Or is those are those models like custom built, or
We try, so with the real time right now, we try to have more of the set data sets, because, right, we still want to have a level of control, and I think the more we use it, the more automation comes into place.
Mhm.
But in terms of like triggers and segments, we right now set, more of defined rules, but then, as people perform certain actions or do not perform certain actions, those triggers are fully automated.
Okay, that answers. Yeah, thanks, Roman.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Any other questions? Going
Alrighty.
once, going twice, and
Thanks.
that's it. Did I hear a questions?
No, I said thank you and sorry for not joining on time, but yeah, sorry guys. I
Okay.
joined 5 minutes back, just my call over from the other side, but yeah, Amit, yeah.
No worries. Thanks, Amit.
Thank you. I heard it's a good feedback. Good, nice man.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. All right. So thanks, everybody. We'll have the recording shared shortly after the session and look forward to the next series of such sessions. And have a great holidays, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year to everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Until
Nice.
next time.
Bye.